I'm Tay. You watching Bird's Eye View, and remember the choice is yours.
What's going on, man? Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know that I don't have to thank you, because you are technically prisonish, but thank you, man, for being willing to share your story. And I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Uh, I know that the entire prisoners community is going to get a lot out of this, and let's go forward. But let's let the people know exactly who you are.
My name is Dante. I'm part of the Prisoners brand. We came up with an idea to, wake people up and like get people to see like a different perspective, a different to kill the old stigma of how being in the system is, or the fact that people just think it's the lowest end of earth, like that you shouldn't take care of a person no more. We wanted people to really get in depth and understand that like this is bigger than what it is. This is a part of your life, and it can affect you. It can affect your kids. It can affect. It's not just, the person that went in there. It could affect your whole life. So we want to get people to see a better perspective on things. So
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Absolutely, that's real. That's real. Uh, in a few sentences, what is prison?
prison is like a like cattle, like animals, like just caged animals. Like just like imagine just going to like a farm and you just see a whole bunch of just different animals just locked in a cage. Like,
So when
you know what I mean? Like
when you were locked up in those cages, describe some of the feelings that you can recall having. Some of the most vivid feelings, the ones that stand out the most. If you could share some of those feelings.
one that stood out the most was like vulnerable, but yo, it's like vulnerable in a way where you do want to talk, but there's nobody to talk to. Like
Mm, mm,
so that like that feeling right there was like, yeah, that's
yeah.
that or like nah, I wouldn't really say depressed, but like I don't know, you just have some of them days where it's just like how the fuck did my life end up being here? Like you see what I'm saying? Like it was just like a wake up where it's like, damn, like I know I'm not supposed to be here. But then you thinking about all them days and you're like, yo, but I got like fucking 1,000 more days to do. Like that shit just feel that 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 shit feel different, man.
It's definitely something different, man. How did you find yourself in that situation, if you don't mind sharing? Like, how did you, first of all, before you answer that question, where are you from?
Where am I from? New Jersey.
You're from New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you find yourself in a facility, a correctional, in a jail, prison in New Jersey? How did you even find yourself at that point? What led up to it?
Basically wrong place, wrong time. Meaning when you're not moving with a purpose. When you're not moving with a purpose, I think it's always wrong place, wrong time. And that's exactly what happened to me. Like I was in a situation where like the purpose for a future didn't make sense. So it resulted in me being in jail. See what I'm saying? Whether it was right or whether it was wrong, it resulted in me being in jail, and that trickled over to me ended up being in prison.
When you say no purpose, Tay, when you say no purpose for a future, what do you mean by that?
Like meaning when you just out here just moving, you wake up, it's Monday, but you don't have anything for Monday to be done. You don't have anything to look forward to. Like that's moving without a purpose. You just waking up, just thinking like you're just going with the flow, like of life. Like you don't have no responsibility. You don't have any, any goals or sometimes like you're thinking of what to do instead of doing what you're supposed to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean it's good. It's just moving without a purpose. Like you don't have, you know what I mean? Like you let yourself get into situations that you're not supposed to be in.
What was the
What?
situation?
Well, for me, mine was a conspiracy to robbery, and the person that did the robbery, they said it themselves. They said, they're the ones that did it, but just because we was there, that puts you in that category of, you see what I'm saying, like committing a robbery. So we got hit with conspiracy. Um, it resulted in us being locked up. It was four of us. Eighth, yeah, we all 18. One is 17, so we got deployed of a juvenile, which makes it first degree, just for having a juvenile there. See what I'm saying? Yeah, basically, I was, that started my journey being in jail because I had to bail myself out. Which I mean, I didn't bail myself out, but I had bail, which took about 3 months to get together. So I had to deal with that.
So let me ask you a question about bail. About bail. So there was a bail. Do you remember the amount?
Yeah, it was 50,000.
Let me ask you about this. So basically, the bail is what has to be paid in order for you to come out. And this is kind of for people that are watching who may not know. Uh, it's a dollar amount that a judge sets, um, put up against, and they hold for your as bond against your release in the event that you don't show up to the court dates, right? And so yours was
Yeah,
50,000, and like you said, it had to be gathered together. So then it's gathered together. I'm sure family and loved ones and whatever you had saved and all this is put together. So then you get bailed out, correct?
yeah,
Okay. And then
yeah. I
what?
got bailed out. So yeah, I got bailed out December 2000. This is around 2012, and yeah, a month later, my mother, she's like, "Oh, somebody's at the door for you." Boom, I go downstairs, I open up the door, it's two police. They're just like, "Yeah, you're under arrest." Da, 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 da. They asked me my name or whatever. I gave them my name. They're like, "Yeah, you under arrest." And I'm like, "For what?" They just keep cuffing me. Um, it's crazy to me now when I think about it. My mother didn't even tell me it was the police. But yeah, so we get in the cop car. I'm like, "Yo, where am I going?" Like I'm asking mad questions. Like, and next like we end up all the way in like another county away. Uh, Basically Sussex County. I'm there. Don't know why I'm there. I keep asking the same question over and over and over and over and over again. They not answering it. They just gave me my paper. Next thing you know, I see burglary, and I'm like, man, what? Like, y'all was just at my house. I ain't find none of this shit that you was just talking about. So how you gonna lock me up for something that you don't even got no proof from? Like, you see what I'm saying? But that shows you the system. See what I'm saying? Like,
So you get locked up for another charge while you're on bond. So how does everything turn out with your at court in this situation?
oh, now that bond is revoked. Now I'm fighting two charges. Mind you, I'm in Sussex County. Never been there before ever in my life. Don't know anybody. 19 years old. Like you see what I'm saying? Now I'm like it's like a revolving door now. Now I'm back in this situation again, and I'm like, yo, how? Like you see what I'm saying? So I'm going through that. Nobody, I ain't even had nobody to fight the shit with me. I don't know shit about the law. See what I'm saying? Like
You
that was a year, huh?
You 18.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like a lot of that law stuff that's in there, they don't teach you that in school. So like if you want to learn about the law, you better go to a library and grab one of them books, man. Like, cause you're not gonna learn that in school. A lot of that stuff that like, see what I'm saying? Like for people that's growing up and want to know a little bit more, be able to move better accordingly. You see what I'm saying? Like, trust me, there's a lot of things that can help you. But yeah, I ain't know the law around that time, so I'm sitting there just going through it, just like yeah, just living day by day, just wondering whatever my codees cop out to, which was we was all trying to get drug court. They're the ones that had lawyers. So me being a codee, I was basically waiting for them to get it, so I'll be able to get it. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So that's what ended up happening. Like ended up getting the drug court.
Okay. And drug court. Explain what drug court is.
Basically it's an alternative sentence. Um, basically you either you are a drug addict or you know you pretend to be a drug addict or you could just say you smoke weed. To be honest, you could get on there. But basically it's like a rehab. Like they either have 6 month programs, 12 month programs that's inside a facility that's not jail anymore, or they got IOP, which means you could be home, but you got to just report to you know these programs like
Right.
3 times a week or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I got sent to a 6 month program.
Okay. So 6 months program. So that's good. You don't have, at least for at the time being, no prison. 6 month program. You're out on the street. It seems like the system kind of worked in your favor at that point. Kind of. I mean, granted, the circumstances where you were. We know that your involvement was kind of, how they put it together, was frivolous. But at the juncture that you were, getting drug court was kind of one of the best options that could have happened, right?
Yeah, definitely. Cause
Okay.
yeah, if you're not getting sent to the 6 month rehab, you will be out on the street. So you could be home and you know report to your program. So you know you feel like you free. You feel
Right.
like you free.
You feel like you're free. That's a big word there. Okay.
Yeah.
So explain how does that go? How does this 6 months go for you?
Yeah, so I get in there my first day and I told the coordinator or you know the person that was running the facility, I'm like, man, send me back to jail. Like I'd rather do something else. Because honestly at the time, like I didn't feel comfortable faking something that I'm not, which was I had to act like I was a like not act like like I'm an addict, but I had to speak from that addict standpoint. And I don't know anything about that. You see what I'm saying? You gotta wake up and be like, yeah, hi, my name is Dante. I'm a, you know, either you know if you smoke weed or you do cocaine, whatever your drug of choice is, you will say that. So for me to wake up every day saying that when I know I'm not even attached to it, I wasn't okay with that. So I'm like, man, just send me back. The guy just walks me right out of the facility and just says, there you go, and just close the door. So I'm like, all right, I'm doing the next best thing I know, which is go home. You see what
Go
I'm saying? Like
go home. I
go
mean,
home. He just
walked you out, shut the door. There was no, you got to go to the parole office, or you got to go to the court.
bro, no. I'm in the crazy part is I'm in the same outfit that I was in jail. Like I'm in the Crocs on my feet. I'm in khakis that got no pockets, and I'm in a white tee. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm
Uh,
telling them to send me back. He walks me out.
right.
Like what am I supposed to do? Knock on the door? Like yo, let me back. Like I'm
Let
like
me,
all right, I just went home. Yeah,
wow. So
went home.
so how did, I'm excited. I want to hear how this ends up.
Yeah, so it's crazy. We at Atlantic City, and I never been to Atlantic City ever in my life. But I see the boardwalk, so
Right.
automatically I'm thinking like, yo, they gotta have a Apple store or something like a mini mall. Next, you know, is I'm at Caesar Palace, whatever you call it. What is that called? Taj Mahal. I'm at the Taj Mahal. Yeah, so you know what I mean. I go straight to the Apple store. I hop on. I hit somebody up. They pick me up, and yeah, like I just went back to like kind of living that life where like I'm just outside. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like hustling, trying to get money, trying to survive. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm back into that. Um, I ended up being in the back of a car. We get pulled over. They ask me my name. I give them my name. They're like, "Yo, you have a warrant," and that was from being released from that same
Right.
rehab facility.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I end up back in the system. Now I'm in jail again. But now I'm in Morris County. I'm not in that Sussex County again.
Morris
I'm in
County
Morris County.
that you're from.
Huh?
Morris County is the county that you're from. That's like your
Well, I was born in Morris County, but I grew up in Essex County.
okay. Okay.
And then I moved back out to Morris County, like when my mother, like she moved back out here. That was around like I don't know, like 2005 or some shit, 2006. Yeah,
But it's
some
but
around there. That's where.
you
Huh?
would it's you're somewhat familiar with the county, unlike
Yeah,
Sussex. Okay. Okay. Got you.
yeah. Sussex is the one I'm not familiar with at
Okay.
all, except for being in jail. That's it. But but yeah. So yeah, I end up back on the back in the system. Um, basically, it resulted in me getting kicked off the drug court situation and just going to prison. So I already got around this time, I want to say 2.5 years in, and my sentence said that I only had to do 6 with 85. So I think I just needed like a year and a half or 2 more years to do when I go to prison, and then it'll be 3 on parole. So that's how I'm looking at it now. Now my mind then turned into what's the next best thing. You see what I'm saying? Instead of like when you first go in there and you're like trying to just like, nah, I'm not trying to do nothing. Like you trying to fight everything. Now it's like, all right, well, what's the next best thing? Which was prison. And I would only had to do up to 2 years. So I took that. Yeah.
So so how you had to be feeling a whole lot during that time when you went down. Just like I know me personally, I mean, I would be disappointed with myself. I'd be a little embarrassed. It'd be all these different feelings that would, I would be filled with, regardless of not
Yeah,
whether
yo.
it's something or not.
Nah, I'm glad you said that because that's how like young black men, or I think kind of men period, but I want to really say young black men and Hispanic. They think there's nowhere to like let go of the feelings. You see, I see how you're asking me about my feelings. I can't. The crazy part is I don't even think about my feelings telling the story, but I know I was feeling something when I was going through it though. You see what I'm saying? But we're trained not to like even like talk about it or think about it. So like, yeah, to be honest, it was just like it was a mix. It was a mix. A lot of strength though. Definitely a lot of strength not to break.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll be those times where like it's just like, yo, this is not fair. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like that stuck, just looking at the wall. You know what I mean? Like literally just looking at the wall. Like
So you would,
imagine just being
all seriousness, be looking at the wall. How long would you look at the wall?
man, bro, like as long as people look at their phones. Like as long as people look at their phones, I'm looking at the wall. Like, bro, imagine just being in a box, like imagine being in your bathroom, because that's the smallest thing people could imagine that they use every day. Imagine being in your bathroom without a shower, but the toilet is there, the sink is there,
And a bed,
two
a bunk.
two beds, two beds that's attached to the wall with a window that you can't open. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and if it do open, then if it's hot as hell, you're gonna be hot. If it's cold as hell, you're gonna be cold as hell. You see what I'm saying? That's the way. Being in there with a mirror, that's probably not really clear. And yeah,
Wow.
that's it. Like that's it. Like that's your life now. You see what I'm saying? Like that's your life now.
How did you cope? How did you cope with that, man? Like, how did you cope with those facts of not going in? sane?
All right, well, when I was younger, anything that ever happened to me, it didn't matter what it was. Anytime I ran to my father and I was like, yo, such and such, such and such, he was like, that's your fault. You got to deal with it. You see what I'm saying? Like that shit sounded crazy to me when I was younger, but it helped me when I got older because I like even yo somehow I placed myself in this situation. I know there's them situations where people like, yo, what do you mean? Like, I don't always place myself in everything. Like, be honest, you do. Subconsciously, you do. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you're not even thinking of it. So, me being in there, like, my first instinct is deal with it.
Right.
It is deal with it. But you could only be so strong. Like, yeah, I could sit here and be like, yeah, I'm dealing with it. Then I could also be like, I'm not dealing with it. But regardless, I gotta be in there until that time is served. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, like it's kind of like you're just like you it's kind of like just giving up on life almost because it's like you there's nothing attached to no more. You see what I'm saying? Like you know how being outside, like being out here in the real world, the free world they call, you're attached to a lot of things. You're attached to a lot of things. So you always feel like there's something to do. When you're in there in that bathroom, there's nothing to do no more but think. Like, yeah, maybe you could come up with plans, think. You see what I'm saying? I've read a lot. I tried to figure myself out. You see what I'm saying? Like because that's all I had to deal with. There was nothing else to deal with. So like I trained myself to think, on a different program level, first of all. Like, what's best for me now? See what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm thinking in that aspect.
Right.
Challenging myself, reading the dictionary. I'm learning, I'm reading business books, I'm learning the things that I don't know.
Right. Right. So Tay, let me ask you, what is one out of saying that, I can imagine that people who haven't experienced that, you know, kind of overwhelmed by. I mean, people have seen pictures in movies and in media, and they've heard different things about. But what would you say is something that either is not spoken of or is just the wrong picture is painted of it to society about prison? Like, what's the biggest?
Oh, yo, the biggest one I could say is just because they went to prison, that mean they did it.
Yeah.
Like to be honest with you, like I don't really see anything higher than that because a lot of people are trained to like push the bad people to the side. Like I can name so many different ways people are, it starts in kindergarten. You go to timeout. Whoever goes to timeout, don't talk to him. Then it turns into detention. Then it turns into in-school suspension. In-school suspension turns into being suspended. There's always ways to push the person aside and make them deal with it by themselves. So that means you can't talk to that person. You're like, you see what I'm saying? That all trains you for prison, for jail. It's the same thing. I did something wrong, and you're just gonna push me to the side, even though it could be a mistake. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then we're all trained of, yeah, oh, you in prison, I'm not dealing with you, or you're in detention, oh, you're bad, or you're in timeout, you did something wrong. You see what I'm saying? Like you're just trained not to deal with that person, and I feel like that's fucked up because there's mass situations of people who clearly made a mistake or didn't do it. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say that's a society fault, really. It's more so, whoever's putting it out there. You see what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
whoever's putting that idea out there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's deep, man, and it brings a lot of um it causes me to contemplate, despite how much I may know about this topic. It causes me to contemplate and think when I hear different stories. So what did it do for you? Did it teach you anything? Did you let's just assume that prison and the purpose of prison and the reason it was created, intentions were good to because I believe most people think prison is to deter people from doing crime. Whether or not that is the case, did you did it change you in terms of your thinking? Did it cause you when you came out to the free world? Did it cause you to have a different approach or anything along those lines?
Um, yeah. Like I don't know. I can't really say it caused a different approach because, to be honest, like being locked up is just a psychological thing. You know what I mean? Like that freedom situation is just like a mind state. You see what I'm saying? Because out here, I could feel the same way I felt in there. Like you see what I'm saying? So as far as different approach, like nah,
Right,
like there's a way of making a living down there. You see what I'm saying? Like that's your world when you're down there. If you're doing time, that's your world. You got to find the best way to survive. So see what I'm saying? Like there's good things that can help you. Like it's not like what they think. Like, oh, you're just in prison, everybody stabbing each other, killing each other, and like, bro, everything is always like a lot of things is blown out of proportion that you can't see.
right,
You see what I'm saying? Like that's to be key with it. The things that you can't see, like on a regular day basis, is gonna get blown out of proportion.
right,
You have to actually be there to understand it. So don't just look at prison, for the people who watch movies and just think that it's something bad. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a lot of fucked up situations that happen, but guess what? There's a lot of fucked up situations that happen out here too.
right,
That
right.
people,
Oh, and
you see what
also,
I'm saying?
right, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So thankfully, man, so as it stands right now, um, the prison system, this incarceration, everything we're talking about, um, is its grip on you tight, or do you feel that it's a thing in the past?
Say it again. Is what on me tight?
This prison situation, prison incarceration,
Oh,
the grip.
man. Yo, yo. I just the deeper you know about a situation, the more you'll understand it. That's the most I can say for people.
Yeah,
Like, cause like if I say something else, you're not gonna understand it. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna understand it. You're gonna think something else, or you might think less of whatever I'm saying. So the
right,
best I'll say is like, yeah, the deeper you get into something, the more you'll understand. So
right, right, right. So, what's going on with you now, man? In terms of let's step outside. Let's step outside because I know that you're not prison, and I know that you're not incarcerated, and freedom. I know you understand. So, what's next with you? The next part of your life, the next chapter of your life that's not defined by prison or incarceration. What does that next chapter look like, or current
and
chapter?
it looks like it looks like building a community. You see what I'm saying? But building a community with a sense of like understanding. Like we like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not just gonna like just tell you things for my benefit. It's gonna be for everybody's benefit. Like we all looking out for each other. We all eating because the one thing that I did learn in there was like, stick with who matters. You see what I'm saying? Like who you can really build with. You really get to know a person. You see what I'm saying? So I want to be able to have that type of sense of out here where You know what I mean? We build these communities, we do these duties where a person could really be like, yo, nah, like they really helped me. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, nah, like Tay really came through and like he didn't just, donate nothing. He ain't just he was really there. You see what I'm saying? I wanna have something like that.
Right.
So I feel like all the moves that I'm doing is all situations put towards that feeling of
Right.
like, yo, you're not by yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's that behind you, man?
oh, it's some like a whole bunch of artwork in my store right here. Like I'm doing my own walls right now. So
Wow.
yeah, man, I gotta do my own designing, man. I need to walk into things that I'm proud of. Like I put that hard work in, and I could look at it and be like, damn, but you did it though. That feel good. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Word.
Right. So, man, we're gonna wrap this up, but I want you to leave the viewers with a sentence or two, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Saying, yo, the harder you work and smarter, the better your future will be. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Pouring into your future. You actively pouring into your future, man. That's great, man. Hey, listen, Tay, man. I know this was only the first of many. Uh, they gonna be hearing from you very often. I know that, man. But just personally, as a friend and understanding our history that go back, want to thank you for sharing because this is a seed that's being planted that will hopefully be cultivated properly and nurtured and watered and the sun shine on it and it'll grow into something, man, and actually, bring forth the change and understanding that, we seek to do, man. So definitely, man, this was a good one right here, man.
yeah, but definitely gonna make a big impact. Like I feel like a real impact. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's definitely gonna be for the good,
All
for
right,
the
man.
better.